Hey everybody, welcome back to Bro Talk. So good to be here this week with my brothers, Bilal and Isaac, and Mark should be on pretty shortly. So for this show, usually we talk about manhood, brotherhood, fatherhood, and everything in between. So for this week's show, you are gonna want to be part of this conversation. We are going to be talking about dating again. We're going to be having our second discussion on that. So, brothers, how y'all living?
In living color. If you're not from that era, you wouldn't get it. But if
you can do what you want to do.
Nah, that's how they started the show. How you living, huh? How you living? What? In living color.
Man, that was that show back then, man.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I mean, it launched the careers of some superstars. I mean,
definitely did, man. You think that show would have been canceled if it was on time?
Nah, because when you have genius behind, the work, it evolves. You know what I mean? It adapts to the environment. That in the climate of the time. So I think it was as forward thinking as it was back then, because the opportunity that time afforded it and presented itself. But I don't think it's any, it will be any different now. It would just be, again, it will be cutting edge for now.
Yeah. I have to agree with that.
Can we agree that you need
like show in the Boondocks? And
can we agree that your camera is like, what's up with your camera?
You said, can we agree that my camera's better than yours? That what you said?
Nah, it clearly is not. It keep coming in and out. You keep turning.
That's because I hit a button on it.
Stop hitting the button,
bro. Let me do my setup.
He said your camera ain't even got a button, no B.
It don't need it. I mean, like, stop hitting the button or do that beforehand before we come online.
Yo, hold on. How you gonna chastise me on my stuff?
Not on your stuff, man. Listen, get your stuff together is what you need to do.
Listen, man. Look, I'm good, man. My stuff is here. I got my mic. I got my camera. I look good. My skin color looks great. I'm looking good, man. We got Brewski on the call. Mark G. What's up, bro? We already started, bro.
Bro, we live, man.
No,
yeah,
man,
we live.
All right, just you know what I mean. Don't get on talking reckless.
Yeah, man, I'm better now, man. I'm different, man. No recklessness, man.
This how you gotta hold. This how you gotta hold your brothers down, man. You gotta let them know. Yeah. That's like when you on the.
I looked at it say live, man. I can read them. You know what I'm saying? I see live, man. So
I was just saying. When you be in the car, like I hate when I'm like if I'm calling you, and you got me on the phone in the car, you don't say nothing. Like tell me like, oh, I'm in the car with so and so. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So then that way, if I talk about you.
Yo, you say the most, Kareem, you say the wildest stuff, man. We're gonna need to jump into this topic because they don't tell it. When you get off,
that was a relevant statement though. Like that,
it was relevant.
Yeah, Kareem had to say that. That's true though, man. Like when we having conversations, like I think what was it? Brock called me the other day, and I'm in the office. I'm at work, and Brock being Brock, the first words out of his mouth is gonna be something ignorant, So it's like, hey, what's good, bro? I'm at work. That's how I have to start my conversations when I'm talking to him. So when Brew got on, I'm like, hey, Brew, we live. You know what I mean? Just setting the stage.
Again, you framed it appropriately. Kareem get to going down his little rabbit holes, and we like, you know what? We just gonna say, hey, Kareem, we bring you back to the script. We here to talk about dating part 2.
Okay.
We just gonna get to it before Kareem end up somewhere down the river.
No, I think Kareem had a point, but he
yeah, no, it was a little deeper. I know what you're talking about.
What it is. So I know where he was coming from.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
man.
let's
But
get
God is
right
good,
into it.
man.
So I can't even remember where we stopped off at in terms of dating. I know Isaac had asked the question, what is I don't even remember the question you asked. I really don't.
I'm trying to think through it as well too.
Well, let's start with our audience first. If you're watching this for the first time, go ahead in the comments. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're watching and you're listening. We also love to hear some of your comments around dating. If you've had any experience with your kids, what are some of the conversations that you've had? We know that bRho last week talked about conversation with his son, asking if he could date, a girl and then talked about like, what does that mean? And come to find out, it didn't mean what we thought it meant, as adults. But we'd love to hear some of the things that you have to say. So put that in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, on your YouTube. We'd love to hear about how you've dealt with it.
For sure. But one of the questions I got, I got for y'all is just like expectations on a date, right? So I don't know what that is for a young man and for a young woman. I know those vary for a young man and a young woman, quite possibly. And I think when you're looking at it from that perspective, I don't know that it's going to lead that date to anything outside of just that being a date. Because I think in order for it to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Have a favorable outcome where the two of you have a long-term relationship or a long-standing relationship, there has to be some type of synergy that is there, right? So just going out and, trying to learn who someone is, I mean, that's one thing. And, getting to know them, that's what I think a date should be focused on. But I think a lot of times now, from what I'm hearing, is that when people go on dates is because, a woman is trying to get something out of the dude, right? And the dude is trying to get something out of the woman.
I think that aspect of date culture is kind of what makes it what's changed the complexity of it. I think once upon a time people could say, well, it's always been that to a degree, whether it was a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, there was ultimately something that a guy was trying to get out of whomever he was pursuing, right? But I think the difference now is that, the analogy that comes to my mind again, and y'all just got to forgive me, I didn't grow up in the suburbs like some of us.
What does that got to do with what you're gonna say?
Well, if you listen and not interject, you might hear where it would have to do.
I'm saying you came at me with the sword, so I kept my shield up.
Listen,
listen on us that grew up in the suburb, man.
Well, again, he may not be able to relate to this analogy. And other people who may have grown up in the suburbs may not be able to relate to this analogy. Okay. But I say it this way. When you think about back in the day, right? You could get into a fist fight with somebody and then it might escalate to, somebody going and getting a relative, and then somebody might bring a weapon. And then if it escalated to the, to the most extreme, somebody might turn to gunplay. But over time, people started feeling like, well, if it's going to get to that level, if it's going to get to the extreme level anyway, then we might as well skip all the other levels in between and jump right and from the start go to the extreme, right? And dating culture has gotten that way too. There's no let's meet, let's get to know each other. And then we go on a few dates, get to know each other a little better, feel like there's some rapport there. And maybe it turns to courting, and courting is a serious kind of exclusive type of dating situation or whatever. And ultimately, go to the extent of maybe somebody's proposing or engaged and married, right? Well, and then at that point, then you consummate. Well, now people are like, yo, rather than going through all of those steps to get to there, we gonna start there. You know what I mean? So whether it's swipe right, swipe left, and whatever other kind of whatever the culture is now, sliding in DMs or whatever the case might be, it's really starting off at, okay, if it's gonna go there, then for me, if it's gonna go there, then here's where I'm starting at. If I'm trying to go on a date with somebody, says they're gonna try to go there, then I'm expecting for somebody to spend no less than X amount of dollars on the date. And you know what I mean? It's like, since we know that's where that's the end agenda, if you will, then let's start there.
Well, here's my assumption of why that happens. I think one, it happens because that's just what we've seen. That's part of a culture.
Elaborate on that.
So, okay. So the statistics are less than half, at least in black culture, in the United States. There are more people that are marriages under 50%. At one point, it was a lot higher than that. So that's one. Number two is, if we're thinking about like I think marriage has always been under attack when it comes to African Americans specifically, right? Because when we got here, we got together. With the slave masters and slavers, whatever you want to call them, put folks together to have babies, but then tore those families apart, demasculated the men, raped the women. So I think there's still that historical trauma that still plagues us today. But if we want to think about and this isn't the case for everybody, because it's not. I mean, at least a little bit less than half, this might not be the case. But since we're talking about the other side of it, is that, if we're, growing up, maybe single parent homes, or, or maybe just the values around dating and courting and what that means just isn't important. Well, because it's just not what's valued.
Can I challenge you on one aspect of that?
Sure.
While we might not get married at the same rate, our divorce rate is significantly lower as well. So we can't say they're not getting married as often without and forget that, well, when we do get married, we stand together. Whereas in our counterparts may get married, but their divorce rate is over 50%. The national divorce rate is over 50%.
All right, man. Listen, man. You guys brought up a lot of good points. One of the things that I looked at is the value system and who's raising these kids. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the baby boomers, talking about grandma raising kids that grandma not supposed to raise because grandma needs to live her life. You got young teenagers raising kids. They wasn't developed properly. It's a lot of that going on in our community. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see the facts. That what is the facts? That's part of the facts. You know what I'm saying? The value system is not there. Everything is about what the pocket is. Like I was watching something on YouTube, and I see a black mother sat down and talked to his son. And I was like, yes, lady, yes. I wish I could show that to a lot of young men. That, if a girl calls you and want to go out, and they're gonna tell you got to spend this much on her for her to go out, or she want to bring her friends, and that you have to pay for their friends to eat. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And these are the value system, bro. You get back to the value system of these young people, young men and young women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm just piggybacking off of you, right? And you know, you talk about YouTube, right? There's this one on there. It's called Catching Gold Diggers or whatever like that.
Oh,
so
I love that show.
People that do it, right? and it's always the same thing over and over again. Black dude. He's actually from Rochester, I think, or Rochester area or whatever.
Yeah, big dude.
Yeah. So he goes and he's been in Houston, Miami, a bunch of other spots. And then he goes up and he'll just walk up to the young lady trying to talk to her, get a number, whatever like that. They look at him up and down, left and right. And then they walk off because it's like, nah, you not for me, right? And at the end of the day, they're saying you ain't got enough money for me. So then he goes and
they're not saying that. What's for me is for me.
Yeah. So then he goes and walks to his Lamborghini, hops in that joint, and a majority of them joints turn around, right?
85%.
And then the tides turn, right? Then it's like they're begging him to get in his car. Yeah. So why? Because they're attracted to him? Because they want to get to know him? Like, absolutely not. Because they're trying to get that almighty dollar out of him, right? That's the point of them trying to connect and build this relationship with this dude now, because they know he's got money and they know I can get something out of him. So my I don't know the answer to this question. I don't know if any of us on here know the answer to this question, but is that the mindset of a lot of women in 20 and let's not say older women, right? But women in their 20 somethings, right? Where a lot of women from other cultures are looking for a partner. They're looking for someone to grow and build with, whether they have money or not, or affluence or wealth in their family, right? They're looking to be that person that's going to be there with them and build a family with them.
Women, we need
a lot of time on our, the women that we come in contact with. It's I'm trying to get this money now because I got to get this bag, or I got to, get these clothes, or I need somebody to get my nails done. Right. Those are the messages that I see and hear. Right.
Yes.
And is that consistent with the reality of 20 something's mindset?
Yes.
In this world,
we need the women to weigh in the comments too. So if you're watching this,
I work with a lot of them. Yes,
but I got
get out of you.
I want to tag a question to that. Is there anything necessarily wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, those
wrong with what, bRho? What you mean?
What the women want in those things?
Isaac's question, right? Isaac, repeat your question real quick.
So just women's in their 20 somethings or 20 something, 30 somethings, right? Are you looking for a man that is going to come and just buy you stuff, right? Without even necessarily having a relation or wanting to be in a relationship with them? Like, is that the intent? Is that what you're looking for when you're looking to build, create a connection with somebody? And I'm not going to say a relationship, because if that's the reason why you're coming back, right? If that's what you're looking for, the financial aspect of it, I don't know that you really have that an interest in that person, just more so what that person can do for you. So
should economics not be a part of the...
I'm asking is, should economics be the basis of creating that relationship?
It depends on...
Hold on. Back to B. I want to clarify what B was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to get back to what B was saying.
Yeah, should economics be like, now Isaac's question was, should it be the basis? And I'm saying whether or not, that's individual, but I don't necessarily see that it can't be something that we should look at as a negative thing.
I don't think nobody look at it as a negative thing, but I think
I do.
No. I think that no matter what we do in any relationship we're going to, we want to make sure our significant other either has the blueprint to make money along with us making money, right? Or she's a hard worker, that she has it's like you drive an NBA player, a football player that's not developed, but he has the what's the word I'm looking for?
Potential,
potential, right? So she may have the potential of doing something super. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna put your you know what I'm saying, you're gonna bring what you have to bring to the table. But I don't think that, I know Shorty don't like me, but Shorty like what I have and thinks she's gonna join me and use my bag that I have to work so hard for. You understand what I'm saying? So I thought that's where you was gonna be. I was gonna be like, B, no. You know what I'm saying? So that's how a lot of these girls get caught up. And when they get caught up, you know what I'm saying, their lives is taken because they give the guys false hope. And a lot of time feelings come into it. I spend money, and then I look over here, you try to play me on the low, and this and this. A lot of that stuff happened, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it goes wrong.
I'm not disagreeing.
That's when it goes wrong.
I think you know, the issue of economics, I think as it relates to relationships is one we have to look at in terms of the broader lens of how, you know, again, if we're talking about male-female relationships, right? We talk about traditional gender roles and gender, you know, relationship dynamics. Then we're looking at it from, you know, how does one measure fitness versus the other? And when we talking about fitness, I'm talking about in the sense of procreation, right? So again, the lens and the space that I often come from is that of, you know, our sexual health. So when we're talking about measuring the viability of someone as a partner to have children with, who could then take care of, provide for children and family, economics is a significant component or aspect of that. So I think, you know what I mean, that's, you know, we look at it and say, you know, somebody's reducing us or reducing men and males to how much money they make, and they're saying, well, you know, I need to know how well you can take care of a you know, of a family, and vice versa. We're looking at someone and saying, you know,
some of them folks not saying how well you can take care of a family.
Right, it's me.
That's
the question. But we get you, and I promise you, I understand everything that you're saying, B. What I'm asking is the other end of that, right? Those, and I'm asking the question because I don't necessarily know. Is it that a majority of women in that age bracket are looking for a man that can provide, that can benefit them? I guess that's my question, because I get that you understand your perspective on it. Absolutely, man. I wouldn't ask any woman. I got 3 daughters, and I'm gonna tell every one of them, don't get into a relationship with a bum, right? Somebody that can't provide for you. But I'm not also going to say get into a relationship with somebody that loves you, right? And that's looking to you for you first, right?
Right.
And that would be the goal, right?
But I agree with wholeheartedly with Ike's point. I would say more so from the standpoint of, and again, to his point, you know, when we think about the idea of someone wanting you for you, and making sure you got, with daughters, getting with somebody who could take care of them and provide for them. Let's look at the data right now. The data says that the most highly educated demographic in this country are who?
Black women.
So
which means a lot of them have their own money.
That's a lot of cases. That's the lens that we're coming from now. So if they got the bag already and they're saying like, yo, if I got the bag, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying don't look at a person for who they are, but I tell people, man, you know, potential is a real, you know,
this
ain't nothing new though. This ain't nothing new.
Slope.
But think about that too, right? The number of women who are educated, highly educated, went to school, got a great job, got the titles and everything like that too, and don't have a partner. Like in your 20s and 30s, yeah, life is good, life is grand. I'm going out, I'm partying, I'm having a good time, right? Right. I got, you know, the looks, like my body's on point too, and you know, all that eating and drinking at age 35, 40.
Left at some point.
I mean, eating and drinking at age 35, things start to change, right? And now it's like, okay, well, I can't keep turning down all these opportunities because this dude doesn't make $190,000 because I make 150. That's what I'm looking for, right? If you're not making 200 or better, I can't deal with you. But these are good dudes that you done passed up on like over all these years. And now all you getting is these drug dealers that are making a lot of money, right? But you're going to get in this relationship with them and then they ain't going to be there in a year or two.
But not even just that, though, right? So, like,
or this dude that's making a lot of money off of fraud, right? He going to be in jail, too.
I watched a documentary about these women. They were 50, very highly successful.
No.
Listen, I mean, it's real. That's a real thing.
Y'all didn't catch what I just said.
Say it again.
People do it to get money. That's all I'm saying, man. People do it with white collar, blue collar, street collars. Like it happens. Like and if that's what you're looking for, if the financial piece is what you're looking for, you're probably not going to find the right person, and there's probably not going to be longevity in that. So that's all I'm saying.
It's a lot of Kareem, not to control. There's a lot of educated women out there that are single because they don't feel like they could go below the totem pole. All right, a young man out there that's busting butt, handsome, good dude, good family values, but because he make $80,000 and you making $100,000, they don't want you.
Okay, so let me ask.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me.
We got to hear from the women. If y'all watching, comment. We need to hear.
A lot of them are like that.
Let me frame. I want to frame this. I want to frame this. Just from through another lens, real quick, right? So, we're all, we've all fathers on here, right? And married men, right? If you were single, and you meet somebody, they had a child, 2 children, 3 children. How many children? Kareem, you making faces now. so I guess was three was your like no, I'm all set. 2, okay. So that's my point, right? If if you single, kids, and you like, man, hold on, I have a there's an unconscious or conscious kind of point at which I'm looking at this dynamic as it's not for me.
Hey, well, you got to deal with another man.
For whatever your reasons are, right? For whatever your reasons are, there's our sisters are looking at it like, yo, I'm single, educated, and if I can't find anybody that's matching my energy in that space in that way, then yeah,
then that means I'm not Prince Charming. Then
he can have a great personality. No, I'm saying
matching the energy in what way? Being single and educated as well.
Because you can be educated and be broke. I mean, it happens all the time.
You could be single educated as a man. You could be single educated and broke.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying the same way we as like somebody as a man might say, you know what, yeah, like Kareem was like two would have been my limit. It was like,
yeah, that's now. When I was in my 20s, there was no limit. It was like 0.
You see what I'm saying? So we can't crucify
in my 20s.
I'm trying to make the connection though. I'm trying to make the connection between the children and the money piece.
What I'm saying is there is whatever our rubric is for seeing somebody as a viable potential partner, we can't as men look at it and say, well, yeah, if she wants somebody that makes this much or whatever the case is, it's unrealistic or unreasonable, and then say, yo,
if she got 3 kids, man, she needs somebody that make that much.
Yo,
you got no choice.
You're a wild boy. You're wild. I'm not touching that.
What you mean? Like I mean, it's real talk, right? You got all the kids, like, and again, you're looking for somebody that's going to provide for you, be a provider. Yeah.
Did you hear about the lady that ordered
money? That's what you're looking for, right? But you don't have the bargaining power for that.
Did you hear about the lady that wanted to do? They were on a date. She wanted him to order food for her and for her kids at home. Did y'all hear? Did y'all see that one? Yo, that was wild.
You muted, bro.
She's very disrespectful, bro. Very disrespectful. And it's not like it was just one kid or two kids.
Nah, it was several.
It's like a couple of them, man, like 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then she talking about, oh, this one ate like a truck, so we got to get him like twice. So like his meal come to like $30 by himself. And I'm looking, the first time I'm meeting you. Like, it's the nerves.
Yeah, the audacity is crazy, man.
Bro, that's the nerves. Like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? Where do you come from? What is your parents' background? Like, seriously. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm a millionaire, man. You don't put that on a brother like that or whoever. I would not, man, listen. I would have told her to order that stuff. Oh my God, I would have done dirty. I'm thinking like Leonard Brock. Yeah, I'm thinking like him. At this point, I ain't gonna lie to you. Especially, I'm telling you, if you're watching it, oh my God. I'd be like, what would you do? What would Brock do? I would have sit there and say, okay.
My sins would have been a gentleman, man. My sins would have been a gentleman.
Hey, I'll be a gentleman. You're gonna be a gentleman.
Well, okay. The other one was the grocery store. So I don't know how they was on a date and ended up at the grocery store, but the lady wanted the dude to buy her groceries.
Listen, I'm not.
He was like, nah.
Here's this one thing. I'm not buying you groceries. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm you lucky if we're not going half on this dinner.
I don't know why we at the grocery store on a date anyway, but okay.
Yo, but again, so think about it, right? So this is rhetorical. Do not answer this. Okay. But think about how many guys, present company included, have asked or kind of, somehow proposed the idea of having sex after the first date. Right?
It's all of us. It's all of us.
Now, I'm not confirming or denying nothing.
So again, like having sex on the first date, that's a mutual agreement. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not something that you're going in with the expectation of and planning and knowing that you're going to get without the other person, buying into this relationship, whether they feeling you, whether y'all have a connection. That's the only thing that's going to get you to that point.
No. What I think,
or you're going to jail.
No. We not.
That's always play that beanie man.
No, I'm saying what some people are like with some, let's say, women, again in this instance, using this analogy, what some women are saying is if that's where you're trying to ultimately or possibly take this, well, here, you know what I mean? Yeah, like we can potentially explore having that conversation or that dynamic if you the right suitor.
That sounds horrible.
Like pro quo to me, man.
That sounds horrible.
It you know what I mean? It's the truth. It's the reality.
That sounds like a sale,
it's
a transaction. Yeah, that's a transaction right there.
In much,
like I'm not going to be on either end of that transaction. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that's what much of this dating culture is right now.
It's crazy.
Very transactional.
That's why if I was in it, man, we going half and half on everything. And if you say no, you don't like me. You know what I mean?
There's a whole song, wasn't it? The light-skinned dude from Toronto talking about something, he gets sex for free. Isn't that part of his song? I'm not saying it the way he said it, but like even saying something like that, like, so does that mean you pay for it in the other time?
No, we know, you know how we know he lying? Because you know, he's the same. Like everybody from that genre of music talks about how many bands they go and make it rain in different various, you know, establishments. So you not paying for it in one context, but you know what I mean.
Let's unpack that though. Let's unpack that though, because there at one point was a genre of like stripper music, right? And that's kind of like how the Cardis came and all those other people. But like a lot of stuff they were talking about in their songs, do you think we're seeing that right now in relationships? Which is why we're probably seeing people saying like, hey, like if you want to take me out a date, it's a $300 minimum. If you're trying to do X, Y, and Z, this what's got to happen. Boom, boom, boom. Like, do we think some of that, what we've been hearing and has now crept into the dating culture?
Unfortunately, there's just, you know, there's too many people out there that would say yes to something like that, right? And for whatever the reasons are, like, I think that's the issue. You can say whatever you want, right? You can tell me you got to have this, $100, $1,000. You could tell me you got to have the nicest car or whatever like that. You can tell me you got to take me to Steak 48 and get you lobster, crabs, and steak.
That's always the thing. Lobster.
I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? I think that's the challenge. That's the issue. Is that so many people, like even some of the cats that aren't on the $100,000, $500,000 earning spectrum, well, they're going to blow a check on a date to impress somebody, and that is absolutely insane. One, if that's what you're gonna do, like, you're not gonna be able to call them back in 2 days and say, hey, let's go hang out again, because you can't afford to do that. One, right? So you just bought this chick dinner, you know, for a day, and you ain't probably never gonna see her again. Or, you know, not for at least another 2 weeks when she want to come back around and eat again. So I think that's the issue, is that people are saying yes to those silly requests. Like, and if as a woman, if you're requesting something like that and you don't do that for yourself, like, it's something little different.
You touching something.
Yeah, I don't know that there should be an expectation. That could be an aspiration. That can be an aspiration, but I don't think that should be an expectation.
I think that's part of the issue, right? Now I'm not saying all. I'm saying some of the women that may feel like, yo, I can't ask for it is because of, you know, again, I got the degree, I got the job and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Or you got the BEL, you know what I mean? Like, and
hey,
listen, somebody like.
And
I don't like them, but you know, somebody do.
You know, be that as it may, right? You know, because think about it, right? Every one of us on here, we got a job, and then when we applied for that position, there were minimal qualifications that they asked for that we had to meet. You know what I mean?
It wasn't a BBL.
It might be now.
Somebody saying these are my minimum qualifications, I respect it, because you know up front. I know up front, like, hey, I would tell my sons, hey, if they say that and you know that's not you, keep it pushing.
So, I'm glad you said that. So what's the advice then that we can have for men? Because I know we've been talking about us, but we've been talking about women too. But what's the advice that we would have for our men that's coming up, our young men that's coming up now? Because I think that's where we could really provide some value, because we do understand, now that we understand the landscape of things, like, what's some advice that we would just give to our young men?
As a young man trying to do things the right way, right? To coming up, you're probably not going to have a lot of money, right? And if you're aspiring to get with connect with a young woman, get with a young woman, man, it's got to be tough, right? Because you're stuck in a position where you might see these other dudes that are out here that are getting money a different way, and they can provide this facade of a lifestyle for a short period of time, and that's who the young woman might be attracted to. My only advice would be, man, don't fall into the trap of going after somebody that doesn't really truly like you for you.
Amen.
Because at the end of that 4-year period, 5-year period, there's a lot of people that I grew up with that don't look like they looked when I grew up with them. I guess I just say it that way, right? So if you're trying to date with your eyes, man,
some of us don't look like
your vision changes a little bit. Absolutely, we absolutely don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, people will change. Like, you will change. What you like will change. Your desires will change. But don't fall into a trap where you like blowing the bag on something that's not going to be there in the future, man. Stop, take assessment, invest your money in something that's going to be able to benefit you on the back end. You know, use it a little bit differently. Be a little bit more wise with that, man.
You know what?
If it's about money, keep it moving, man. Keep it moving.
I say learn how to cook too, man. It works. Learn how to put some meals together, man, and have an ambiance of how you decorate it and have her over. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I'm the king at that.
We know.
It's a cook. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to tell you, Lord, have mercy. You know what I'm saying? Cooking is good. Thank you, Grandma. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, cooking, putting it together, and then they hit that front door and they smell that thing. You know what I'm saying? Better than any restaurant food, man. You know? Young fella. And if y'all want Bruiser to teach you how to cook, man, I'm not that expensive. You know what I'm saying? I work with you, but you're a young fella. Once you around 15 to 18, you know what I'm saying, I'll work with you. But if you from 18 to and up, y'all gotta throw the bag at me, because my joint is like automatic. You know what I'm saying? It's Kobe Bryant-ish. You know what I'm saying?
You said it's gonna work every time.
Yeah, man, work every time, baby.
So it's gonna work every time to do what?
Listen, Kareem,
Whatever
we're a family show, Kareem.
It's a family show. Whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna try to set me up today, man. I'm older now. You know what I'm saying? I get it now. You know, Brew 2 years ago, a year ago, to say something crazy, but
go ahead, B. I'll go after you.
I go back to, I mean, a lot of where the conversation started is, you know, values. Find somebody whose values are similar to yours, whose upbringing, you know, matched yours in terms of the values that they were instilled with, the kind of, you know, rearing they had. You know what I mean? When you meet somebody's parents and you find out, you know, you find out a lot about that person, not because they're going to be a mirror image or reflection of the people that raised them, but you can get a baseline understanding of where the values that they live by, or, you know what I mean, were instilled with, came from, and that gives you an understanding of you know, a lot about who they are, or who they ultimately are aspiring to be at some point in life. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they may not, neither, you know, at 20 something, you know, we shouldn't be a finished work. We shouldn't be a finished product. We're gonna learn, we're gonna grow, we're gonna make mistakes. That's part of the process. But you can get an idea of what's really important to a person. So find out those values, and find out, you know, and have those conversations about the things that matter to them. You know, people can be real compatible. Like, I give you a prime example. There is a deal breaker just for me back then was, I'm not a pet person. I don't have anything against pets. If you own one, just take care of it, is all I'm asking. Is take care of it, and preferably not in my yard. Don't take care of it in my yard. You know what I mean? That, you know, but yeah,
what do you mean by that, B?
My yard is my children's playground, not your pet's bathroom.
I didn't get the whole thing. You were saying?
Oh no, I'm saying
I was thinking a whole different way.
Oh no, I was saying I would
You
say like
it's your pet peeve or your deal breaker.
Okay, no. A deal breaker for me was like somebody who was into pets and having pets, and I'm like, nah, I'm not a pet owner. I'm that wouldn't have been a.
I'm thinking from a dating standpoint.
Yeah, it would that would have been a date. That would have been an issue for me, because if at some point this is gonna go, let's say perhaps somewhere,
Okay.
Yeah,
Mine was cigarettes. Mine was cigarette smoking.
Oh, that's definitely like
I think a little bit of the other thing, but I can't take the cigarette.
Yeah, I mean we not even getting far if we didn't get there's not even much of a conversation, because you can smell that coming off a person. Like if somebody smokes cigarettes, that like there's we all set. But I'm just saying, like, those, you got to have those conversations where, again, you won't necessarily know that a person is a pet person or not a pet person. You know what I mean? Unless you have start having that depth level of conversation with them. Do they want kids? You know what I mean? And if so, do your small family, large family? You come from a large family, they come from a small family. Do maybe they want more kids? You like, nah, I grew up in a big family. I don't. So you gotta have those conversations. So make sure you identify the values of the person that you potentially dating or planning a date, and have conversations around the things that matter to you, because if it does materialize or could materialize, you don't want to now be at a certain point emotionally tied to a person, and now are like, I really ain't. Again, I'm that. Again, like I said, not against pet owners, but that was a non-negotiable for me. That was a non-negotiable for me.
Cigarette.
Yeah. So
what's yours, man? Food?
Nah, it's gum chewing. So like, it
like fresh breath.
Gum
chewing. It ain't that. Nah, like people that be like chewing and popping their gum all the time, I can't do it. So
that's that suburb stuff, man. Go on with your suburb.
Nah, there's people in the suburb that do it too. But that's just my little old thing. I'm good with pets. Cigarette smoking, no.
You ain't got no choice but to be good with pets.
Ain't that bad? They gotta be good with pets. Okay, I get that. So
you don't have no choice but to be good with pets, because you can't say that even if you're not, because you trying to sleep in the bed tonight.
Man, I don't care nothing about that, dog.
Yeah, all right.
I'm the one that take care of the dog.
That's why you got to be okay with it, because you ain't trying to sleep in that.
Hey man, don't let this dude draw you out, man. Come on, finish your statement.
Yeah, right. So let me focus my statement.
Yeah,
so all right,
man.
so
I want you to get in trouble tonight. We're doing good. We're really doing good, man.
I'm looking at it from a different perspective. So if as a young man, if you're not looking to get married yet, but you looking to date, I think dating is fine to try to figure out what it is that you do and don't like. So I think that's where the talking comes in, that we've all talked about, like going out and doing things together, just trying to figure out like what is that you like and you don't like. I don't think in your 20s you like and you don't you know what you like and don't like. I mean, there are certain things, right? But I think there has to be that opportunity to be able to experience some different things. Now, I'm saying this from a perspective of you keeping things above board. Like, I'm not saying getting into the sexual stuff. I'm saying more of the relational, the talking, the
into that.
I wouldn't say sleep in the same room. There's a lot of temptation in that. But I'm just saying, just doing different things together. And also, too, start to put together a plan. So to say, how do I want my life to look when I'm 30, 35, 40? And then how does me having, as a young man, having that woman, like, so what part would this person play, or what part could this person play, in this vision, that I have? And if that person is down with it, they're like, hey, I'm with it. I'm gonna follow you. You've done everything that needed to be done for me to trust you in that, then, let's go forward that. Next thing I would say is be comfortable with dating people based upon, how y'all vibe together, right? Like as a young man, maybe you're Puerto Rican, you might date someone that's black. You know what I'm saying? You might date someone that's outside of your culture. You know what I'm saying? I think people should experience that. You can see something different.
That's an interesting conversation. I think that's a.
Is that a third? Is that a third? Is that?
I don't know that is a third.
Yeah.
I would say, you know what I mean, because no, because that one gets so spicy. I don't even want to. But
you saying it's spicy because I said Puerto Rican?
No, man, no. I'm saying in terms of like I will just say this. I will frame it this way.
Mm.
I grew up going to suburban schools. My mom had a very stern conversation with me about who she was not approving.
Got you.
Who she didn't approve of if I was going to be dating. Yeah. I just leave it at that. And so if you date or choose to date as a parent, if your child chooses to date rather, you know what I mean? What kind of are you putting those? Are you sharing those kind of parameters with your children?
Well, I already told mine to get ready because I think one of them gonna do it. So we'll see.
No, I didn't give. No, I didn't say. I didn't. I'm saying, okay, so somebody who looked like
vanilla.
Yeah, a little on the melanin side. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Mr. Hayes, I'm here to pick up Chloe.
Yeah. There. I'm just gonna have a talk with him.
What does that talk look like? What does that talk look like with Chloe? Like, hey,
I just want to understand her thought process behind it. Really.
Okay.
Listen, because see, if I go in and be like, Chloe, you can't do that, she gonna do it even more. I like that's just psychology, right? Like, I just want to kind of just understand and get to the bottom of it. Like,
I hear you.
Well, what's your thought behind this? Because at least that's the conversation I'm gonna have. Now I can't guarantee the conversation my other half gonna have, but that's what I'm gonna have. Because I know my daughter. I know her.
Those are all just kind of those, those questions and things that those things that come up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your position on them? And I oftentimes I feel like, and I'm going to say this because I feel like as Black and brown people, we get expected to be like, if we say we not okay with something, we worried about how we gonna be made to look. And the reality is like for generations and to present day, is people saying it's people saying you better not bring home no brown skinned kid. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, people have a right to say what they want to say about who they feel like. Now again, your child may choose to do something different.
Exactly. Like we can't stop. You can't stop it, right? I think it's just like what we tell them and what our expectations are from them from a general perspective, right? Like, for me, I just don't bring anybody to my house that is going to be disrespectful to anyone in this house, and even more importantly to you, right? Because if I find out that happened, then it's a problem.
So can they say ninja?
That isn't. I would look at that as disrespect.
Yeah, because I mean, somebody I know my family brought some guy home. He was doing some good things, but it's like every other word was like cuss word and this and that. Like and in the house, they don't curse in the house. So I'm thinking to myself like, when you have a conversation with this person to say like, okay, this is kind of how we do things.
Yeah, or in that moment, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, you know, you gotta cut that out or chill on that while you're over here, right? I'm gonna make that known. I'm gonna set that standard. If it happens again, like you
Nah,
get kicked
ninja.
out, you gotta go. Right?
Nah,
You gotta
ninja.
go.
Nah, ninja.
Hey, big.
Are you saying that would be the response? B?
Hey, big. Isaac is all nonchalant with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, ninja. Who paid the mortgage in here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what did you just say just now? I'm man, listen.
It's a little patience.
Hey man, I pray for them. I pray for them little girls, them little dudes who gonna come at your door knocking for your daughters, because I'm gonna be right there. Especially that first one. Oh my God. I'm gonna be right there. Hey,
nobody
tell your
coming
daughter
knocking on
too.
my door.
Uncle Brew gonna be right there. We're gonna be like bad boys.
But I think that's part of it, right? It's just
I'm playing the jail dude.
I think a big part of it is having that conversation about the expectations with your kids, right?
Yeah.
So that's already, yeah, you're right. That's already needs to be established before you even think about bringing somebody here. Like if they don't meet this criteria or even get close to it, like you already know that's a no. Like, and like I said, I can't stop you from doing what you're going to do outside the house, right?
But in this house,
but if I get wind of it, you know what I mean? Like we need to have a much deeper conversation. We got to talk a little.
Don't bring nobody you met yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all have some time together first before you decide to come over here and want to meet us.
Right.
That surprise boyfriend thing is like, bro, like we don't even know you. There wasn't even like a conversation that happened yet. That's if that's happening. You know what I'm saying? That people are going over folks' homes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gonna come by the house, man, and I promise you, like they're gonna get an invite to the house. If I know my daughters are dating somebody, you are absolutely coming over to my house, right? Yeah. And it will be a barbecue that day, right? And there's gonna be a lot of people here that love her. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. You're gonna come over and you're gonna meet me, especially if I know that you're with one of my daughters outside of my presence and outside of my house. Like I gotta have an understanding of who you are. You know what I mean?
Gotta have a barbecue. Invite us over, baby. Yeah. I want to be on the grill. You know what I'm saying? I want him to feel the heat at the grill.
Yeah.
I hear you. I you know what I mean? I agree.
You got boys, so you
can bring your mama and your daddy too. Like, yep. Everybody come over, because if I don't like y'all either, I know the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So
man, it's so true.
It's very telling, man.
That's a sign, people. That's a sign. People don't pay attention to that sign, man. You gotta look at that family and see how they get down, man. Even if the person you're dating, even if they don't act like that, there's still remnants of that in them. They just might do well with suppressing it until something happens, but it will come out.
Yeah, I
that's a fact.
I hear you. I think, definitely those qualities, those values, those things matter. You know what I mean?
You're gonna know the alpha one, boy.
and for the guys, I will say that understanding your own feelings and understanding yourself really helps a lot. So again, you got to do that self work. Whether that's through meditation, reading your Bible, reading your Quran, or whatever you do to do some meditation and spiritual enlightenment. You gotta do that inner work first, man, before you try to deal with somebody else, because you can ruin somebody when you're not ready to be serious and be in a relationship, man. I've seen people, man, start off one way. They get into a real bad relationship and they ain't never been the same again. I've seen it a lot of times, man. So
you know what? I know a lot of folks who will say they kind of what sent them on a down the heartbreaking path was having their heart broken. You know what I mean?
And there's a way to work through heartbreak, but what happens a lot of, from what, at least from my own experiences, what I've seen is that we don't work through it. We don't work through it. Instead, we just do things to try to mask it, whether it's through alcohol, sex, drugs, just behaviors that are just not serving us well. Because
we call it self-inflection. Infection. What's the word I'm looking for?
Reflection?
No, not reflection.
Infliction.
Yeah.
Oh, self-inflicted.
Inflicted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm speaking to the men, to the young men, to the men specifically, because I think the women do a great job of talking about their feelings and getting together and having those conversations. But again, like we've been saying on this show for the last 4 years, as men, this is something that we gotta just continue to work on, man. Because as somebody with a daughter, I'm gonna be thinking like, yeah, I need to see who his peoples are. I need to see, what type of time they on, because I know that, like you said, B or one of y'all said it, the apple don't fall far, from the tree, man. So I gotta see. Now, one thing I do realize is that I can't stop my daughter from getting her heart broken. Like, it's just, it can happen. So, but as a father, to be there and to be present and to just know how to help her work, through that. I mean, I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, everybody's got to make their own decisions, man, and like life is going to be different. Yeah, I think we can have an idea of what we think our children's life will be, and
just won't know
how we can shield them from certain things, and what we're going to do, but you can't. Like but like you said, being there to help pick them up and help them work through it, man. That's what being a dad is all about too. So
I think that's a good spot, man, for us to put a pause right there, man. Let's do some shout outs.
I'll start.
Okay.
I just want to give a shout out to my daughter Ava. Like, she's an amazing young woman, man. She just continues to amaze me every single day. This is a busy weekend. We had an event at East High School Employment Resource Fair at work. So, I was there all day Saturday. Check me out on the news. Had a couple interviews from that event as well, too. So shout out to the team for everything that they did there. But Sunday, had to get up early in the morning and drive out to Buffalo. And Ava was a part of Invention Convention that was held at the one of the museums out in Buffalo. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a museum out in Buffalo. And there were a whole bunch of, I think it was, actually, it probably started younger, like grades 2nd through 8th graders that were coming out, and they all in their schools came up with their own inventions. So hers was called the Crevice Collector. She's been working on it for months now. It seems like she put a whole pitch together, and it was cool kind of watching her around the house practicing it. But when you got to see her in action in front of the judges, and going and giving her pitch about her product and talking about the research that she did and the information and feedback that she got from folks, and the modifications that she made based off of that feedback, and just kind of seeing her in action and responding to the questions as they came. It was really cool and a proud moment because, we don't get to see our kids in school and see what they're learning and see how they're engaging. So to be able to see her kind of showcase that level of intelligence and intellect was absolutely dope. And she ended up getting, I think, 3rd place medal, for her invention and presentation there. But I also wanted to give a shout out to the school.
I want to recount
for there was some great inventions there. So shout out to all the kids that participated. But I want to give a special shout out to Miss Clock, who is her reach teacher. And the team out of Hilton, this is their 4th year in a row where they're actually going to the national convention. So there are 2 other young ladies that had inventions that both from Hilton that got 1st and 2nd place and are going to the national convention. So it just talks about the work that they've been doing there. So shout out to them as well too. Just kudos to again my team at work for everything that they do, and then just shout out to my entire family. I know I was joking. I probably last show or the show before that Ezra's going to work to make some money, and she's doing it again. So soon she'll be coming down, getting her butt out there. Go get this overtime. I love it. See, that's young men. That's what you look for. A woman that's about her business, right? Who will get up in the middle of the night and go to work and make money too. That's what y'all should look for.
You still paying for the dinner bill though?
Yeah, man. We just went out to dinner earlier, and I had to pay for that too. I'm broke. But
and her kids.
Yeah, shout out to the family. Everybody in the family, appreciate y'all. So yeah, that's it. That's for me.
Yeah. So I want to start my shout out saying happy birthday to my nephew Lil James Waters. He celebrated birthday over the weekend. And to my dean and big sis, happy anniversary. Love them people, man. My dean and sis, man. I love y'all. Happy anniversary.
Where's he at? He's still in Alabama, or he come back from Alabama yet?
Nah, yeah, home.
Yeah, yeah. So happy anniversary, Dean. Shout out to CTC and the Tree, man. They went to the PA Swag level 82 Elite 7-on-7 tournament this weekend, and man, teams from all over. I'm talking all over. From teams from as far as Canada, man. And the level of competition is serious there, and the 18U squad won. And so I was talking to a brother who his son plays on the 14U PA Swag team, and they got some top tier talent. They're a team based out of Philly, and they got some top tier talent. Their 14U quarterback goes to a prep school, but before the 14U game started, we were watching our 18U team, and he was like, man, where are these kids from? And I told him Rochester. He was like, what? He was like, I ain't know. I was like, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know. There was so much talent in Rochester, and so shout out to, again, CTC for what they do.
Got a little bit of talent in the Rock, man. Stop bigging up your chest, man.
Man, listen, we more than a little bit, that's for sure. Listen,
a little city.
Yeah, exactly.
A little something, man.
But if you go in the New York State high school record books, this little city all over it.
Y'all got a little part of it. Y'all got a little part of it.
No, we got the 4x1 record. We got the fastest track records. We got them.
They're Jamaicans. A lot of Jamaicans in Rochester.
Man, ain't got nothing to do with Jamaica, bro. Shout out to Jamaica, though. Ain't got nothing to do with it.
What y'all talking about? Anything we're running, man. They're from
either way, we got it. You know,
Jamaica.
585 represented this weekend at PA Swag. So shout out to those young men who went up and again and showcased and represented themselves in their community well, and conducted themselves really well as well. And as a part of that, I want to say, man, shout out to my son. This young man, so he's 13. He plays with the 14U squad, and he performed extremely well this weekend. Turned the coaches' heads within his organization. I mean, he represented himself, and that's, as a father, that's what I'm most proud of, is that he puts in the work off the field and earns everything he gets on it. You know what I mean? So, and that's all that for me, I'm ecstatic to see when his hard work pays off, because he sees, you know what, if I put in the work, you know what I mean, it yields results, and that formula works. So yeah, I'm just proud of him and the work that he's continued to do. Shout out to my baby boy. He's in play. He's in a play that's coming up for his school. Just everything. And in a couple short days, he leaves the single digits behind and steps into the big 10, double digit life. So he's excited. I'm excited, man. 10 years, man. 10-year. I got a 10-year-old and a teenager, man. It's crazy. Where did the time go? And so with that being said, shout out to the person who I would not have this 10-year-old and 13-year-old without, and that is my amazing wife, man. She's just amazing. Listen, she my rollie, you know what I mean? We went down, we jumped up, drove down, you know what I mean? She was like, yo, let's, you going, I'm going, I'm with you. She rode out with me. We went down, rode to the tournament. And then of course, it's a quick turnaround trip. You ride down for the weekend. Then Sunday after they finished playing, we on the road back. And you know what I mean? She stayed up, the whole time just so I wouldn't, have to, be riding and be be to myself. And yeah, it's only like 5 hours both ways. But she ain't take no nap. She if I was up, she was up. And she was DJing, so we was, listening to jam. So I just appreciate you and I love you. And just again, shout out to you, to the most amazing woman in my world. So that's all I got for y'all.
Well, Kareem, I'm gonna let you go, Kareem. I'll go last.
All right, but want to give a shout out to this Ada Rolanda this weekend, Rolanda chapter. We got some new brothers, some new alphas that are in our midst. So want to shout, those brothers out. And shout out to the chapters. My shout outs are really short. And then want to shout out to my family, shout out to my wife, my kids, and that's pretty much it this week.
Yeah, I'm also going to take it from your standpoint. There's a lot of crossing going on. I see, like you said, at Rolanda, they crossed some boys. The chapter in Ghana just crossed some boys as well too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which was cool. I look at them dudes, man. I said, Lord, Brew gonna be a Brew. I wish Brew was a part of that. Oh man, but shout out to everybody.
Certified.
Yeah, I know. That's easy for me, man. Certified, IMVP certified. But they got so much places to run down there. You know what I'm saying? That's what things to do. But yeah, man, they crossed. I think they crossed 7 boys. Crossed like 7 guys down there. So, which is cool. Buffalo crossing boys. I see my man Calvin. Shout out Calvin. Up there, man. Was that Rolanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rolanda. They crossed some boys. And I know AKAs and Deltas, they're doing some good things.
bRho is on our campus now. They had their first line.
bRho, RIT campus?
No, Brockport.
bRho is on Brockport campus now? I thought they was already on Brockport campus.
Yeah, so this the charter line.
Okay. Well, shout out to them. Yeah, man, that's it. Shout out to my family. Shout out to Miss P. Shout out to all the Brockport peoples. Love and respect, man. I got y'all gifts, man. Come on. Hit me up in the inbox. I got them all.
Support black business. There you go.
Support black business.
Support black business.
That's it, man. I got them all, man. I got bracelets. I got masks. I got Alpha shirts. I got a little bit of everything, man. You know what I'm saying?
Get it while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot. I got to ship some stuff out tomorrow, too. Detroit. Probably upstate too.
All right, bros. You
That's it.
good?
Yo,
I think that's it.
you're
All right. Peace out.
Peace out. Peace out.